Nintendo is generally known to be a PG company focused on games suitable for all ages, but that doesn't mean that there isn't some very strange things going on underneath the colorful presentation, like strange shadows watching over you or the ongoing mystery of how Pokemon eggs came to be, and that's what we'll be discussing today. Also really quick, I'm extremely close to 400 subscribers, so if you enjoy, then please feel free to subscribe. Anyway, let's begin. So back in 1998, Nintendo created the Game Boy camera, a very odd but seemingly harmless peripheral of the Game Boy. Of course, this being on the Game Boy, the camera itself wasn't very good and the pictures were more so a novelty than something that would make the Game Boy become the next iPhone. But the interface of the menu is pretty as well, but being similar to an RPG menu, even including a run button, which is odd as this is a camera after all. But after pressing this, you can get this weird image about crossing the equator, which is odd, but maybe this is supposed to be some kind of inside joke or something among the developers. However, when continuing to press the run button, you can be greeted to these disturbing images. Creepy faces of what appear to be edited employee pictures with the words, "Who are you running from?" These images can be horrifying, as why is this even included? And if the pictures weren't eerie enough, why are they asking us what are we running from? It's such an odd thing to be included, as Nintendo is about being for all ages, and this certainly would terrify any kid that came across this, especially in Japan, who had 2 additional pictures. There's a lot of questions surrounding these creepy faces, but for the most part, like the peripheral, it seems to have been forgotten with time. With Nintendo having so many franchises, each with a variety of characters, there's certainly some that have unfortunately been lost to time. Few examples would include Koopa Kid, Donkey Kong Jr., and the Brothers of Tingle. These characters at a time were once prevalent in Nintendo games, but with time, we don't see or even get mentioned about these characters, and this could be for a variety of reasons. Whether it could be being replaced, being rebooted, or just becoming something stuck in the past. But with so many characters that we don't hear from again, it makes you wonder, what happened to these characters after all this time, and what about them made them so not relevant to Nintendo anymore? It's certainly a lot more of a niche mystery that can be simply wrapped up to Nintendo just simply moving on from the characters, but it is still a mystery and quite unfortunate the forgotten fates of these once beloved characters. An infamous rumor regarding Pokemon Red and Blue was the ability to catch Mew. It was rumored that a single lone truck found in Vermilion City had a Mew underneath it if players used strength on it. However, reaching this truck is not normally doable because the ship leaves after receiving the HM for cut, permanently restricting you from this part of the map. But this does not stop some who got served prematurely by trading and surfing to this hidden location to receive Mew. Of course, this is just an urban legend, which isn't true, but what's really mysterious is the truck itself, as if Mew wasn't there, then what was the point of this truck in the first place? I mean, it is the only vehicle in the entire game, and to even reach it, you have to do the elaborate and unintended loophole I mentioned previously to even get there. It's not even something that you can see, as playing through the game normally, the truck is completely invisible when going along the small pier, further making its purpose all the more mysterious. You cannot interact with it whatsoever, even if you make it over there, and this leaves many speculating. Some speculate that it was a test of some kind for vehicles, but it was scrapped and the truck was just left there as it normally wouldn't be seen by normal players. However, if this were the case, then why did the truck appear once again in the remakes of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, as there it is, as pointless and mysterious as ever? Although at this point Game Freak may have realized the craze that this area created, as along the pier you can find a lava cookie, and in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee it is replaced with Revive. Acknowledging that Game Freak does indeed know about this infamous pier, but it still leaves the question as to what the original truck's purpose was and why it was there in the first place, leaving it potentially forever in mystery. Something even more mysterious than strange characters is strange locations, and there are a few throughout Nintendo's history, such as the Sarasa Land from Super Mario Land and the Creepa Termina from Majora's Mask. Both of these strange places share similarities, as they are so completely disconnected to the world of the characters, being the Mushroom Kingdom and Hyrule respectively, and having many strange characters, with Sarasa Land's strange bosses unlike anything before or after, and Termina being full of strange characters everywhere. Because of this, these places are shrouded in mystery and makes these locations complete anomalies in their respective series, with some question if they even existed at all. It's something certainly up for debate, but still leaves an uneasy feeling when playing the game as to whether or not everything you're experiencing is real or just a figment of your imagination. Donkey Kong, especially Donkey Kong 64, is fairly upbeat throughout the game, but this doesn't mean that creepy areas don't exist in the Donkey Kong world, as they most certainly do in the appropriately named Creepy Castle. When playing as Tiny, you can teleport in the ballroom and reach an area with a strange barn-like building in it. Going around and teleporting again will transport Tiny into a strange room with a purple balloon inside and a lone pillar under some kind of spotlight. This pillar is extremely strange, as to whatever this pillar even is hidden in mystery, as interacting with it does not do anything, so questions arise as to what the purpose of this lone pillar in the creepy castle is. Is it just a single odd decoration, or is there something more? Well, speculation suggests that this weird pillar may be related to the stop and swap feature from Banjo-Kazooie. This feature was meant to be a data sharing like feature between games that Rare developed at the time, like Banjo-Tooie and potentially Donkey Kong 64. However, this feature just wasn't possible with the Nintendo 64 hardware, leaving this feature to be scrapped along with everything involved in it. Could this pillar have potentially been a part of this feature between games, or was it just really a meaningless decoration? It's possible, but considering the spotlight above it and intentionally made designs on the pillar, it has to, or at least had to, have some kind of purpose at some point, whether it's related to the stop and swap feature or the creepy castle as a whole. But for now, the pillar continues to remain an elusive mystery. So I've talked a little already about The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, but that's only scratching the surface to the many mysteries and anomalies found within this eerie game, but none of which are more elusive than this. So when you complete the game and follow the mask into the moon, instead of being greeted by a normal moon surface, you're greeted with a peaceful grass hill and a lone tree at the top. Upon climbing to the tree, you see these children dancing and playing around the lone tree, each of which has a mask with Majora being beneath the tree. These children are referred to as the Moon Children, and confronting with the one with Majora's Mask of course triggers the final battle, but it's this area as a whole that's full of mystery and adding even more eeriness to the end of the game. We can probably assume that the child wearing Majora's Mask is meant to be Majora to some degree, but what about the other children, and how do they relate to this strange location? I mean, this is not what moons normally look like, leaving the question as to if we really are inside the moon. But regarding the other children, it's apparent that they too have masks, with each one being one of the other bosses from the game. What's even creepier is the faces that's underneath the mask, as they all share a face with the Happy Mask Salesman, a creepy character in and of himself, as he was the original owner of Majora's Mask met at the beginning of the game, further creating more questions like, are these his children, and how is he connected to the children, and the meaning of them donning masks from bosses of the game. It's all very mysterious, and even after all this time, there's still no confirmation as to what is really going on here in this area, leaving it and the rest of this game as a whole in mystery. And that wraps up the mysteries I wanted to cover, and this was all very interesting, as who doesn't love some classic unanswered mysteries? I hope you enjoyed this, and maybe we can go over some more mysteries another time, and if you have your own questions or potential theories, then definitely let me know down in the comments, as it's always fun to speculate the meaning behind some of these iconic mysteries. But aside from that, if you enjoyed, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe and all that jazz, and yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Take care.